Hello everyone, what's up? This is Robert at English 360 and I'm glad to be here today to talk about family ties because this podcast does just that. It talks about family ties, so if you have the time and the patience, get a pen and a paper if that's what you like and get busy. The first word is adolescence. Adolescence is the age when you are not adult but you're not a child anymore. So between 15 and 16, that's adolescence. Next one is adulthood. Adulthood is referred to the period of your life when you're an adult. Not necessarily when you're like 35, 40 years old, but like in your 20s. You've gone beyond your teenage, now you're an adult, so this would be adulthood. The next word is bond. To have a bond, like you have a strong bond with someone. When you have a good family, you love each other, you can say, we have a very strong bond in the family. We're connected to each other. You can use this word even with friends, we have a strong bond. The next word is brotherhood, which means the state of being brothers. This could be used literally between brothers or within a large group of people who share some kind of a creed or religion or something together. There is a brotherhood. So it can be used within the family or outside of the family when some people share something meaningful. Let's move on to the next one, character. Character is how you are, how you behave with other people, whether you're a patient person or impatient, whether you're kind, generous or rude or mean. That's your character. Then we have the word childhood. It's a period of the life when you are a child. So when you reflect upon your life, you can say, my childhood was a great time of my life or wasn't a great time of my life, for example. Okay, so next one is conflict. We always have conflicts when we have family. Many families have conflicts, let's be honest. And it's how you solve those conflicts is important because you can't avoid conflicts because they're there. So it's another word for fights. Perhaps a bit more serious. So it's how you deal with them makes you a better family or not. Next word is connection. To have a connection with someone is like a bond. Similar word, fatherhood, the state of being a father. You can say being a father is difficult or fatherhood is difficult. Then we have the word friendship, the act of being a friend. Then we have the word interaction. When you have friends, you have interaction between each other. Then we have the word motherhood, the state of being a mother. Then nature. Now, why is nature important in growing up? Because nature does not refer to plants, trees and grass and bushes. That's one kind of nature. The other one is your nature, how you are. A bit like the word character in this case. The word nature can be used as a characteristics of a person as well. Then we have the word parent and relation. Parent is your mother and father. Relations are people who are outside of your family but still within your large family, like your uncles, your cousins, etc. Then we have the word relationship. It's the act of having a relation. You can have a relationship with a boyfriend or a girlfriend or your husband, or you might have a secret relationship. That's entirely your choice. Relative is a person who is outside of your family but still part of the bigger family, like your uncle or your cousin, for example. So resemble or resemblance. You can say there is a strong resemblance between me and my father. We look alike. So it refers to some kind of similarity between people. So rivalry. Rivalry is a word which is often used between two people when they're both fighting for the same thing. So there's a rivalry. Sibling. Sibling is another word for brothers and sisters. I have a sibling or I have a brother or a sister. It's the same thing. Brother and sister tells you what sex they are, while sibling just doesn't denote anything. It could be a brother or a sister. Then we have the word temperament. So the word temperament refers to a person's nature, especially as it affects their behavior. Another word for temperament would be disposition, their character, their personality. So you can use the word temperament. For example, someone who has a strong temperament, which means a person has a very strong physical or mental strength. So that's temperament. Then we have the word ties, like family ties. It's the link, it's the bond, family ties. is another way of saying bond with someone, you know. I love my family ties. So family ties refers to your bond, your links with your family members. To tie, remember, you tie a knot or you use a rope to tie something. So it's a metaphorical use of the word to tie. Then we have some compound nouns, for example, active role. You can say, I play an active role in my family. Do you play an active role in your family? Do you help a lot? Do you help your parents? Do you help your family? Do you help your children or your parents? If you do, then you are playing an active role. Then we have the use of the word extended family. Now, normally family is mother, father and children, yeah? But sometimes you have extended family, especially in modern days. You have extended families. What are they? A family which extends beyond the nuclear family to include grandparents and other relatives. It could also include your stepbrothers, stepsisters, half-brothers, half-sisters. So there's no limit to who can be within your extended family. Then we have the word family gathering. Family gathering is when lots of people get together for a meal or for a special occasion, like Christmas dinner, for example. So that's a family gathering. Normally it's because of a happy occasion. You remember the word extended family. Then we have the word immediate family, which refers to your nucleus, the smallest nucleus of your family, the smallest unit of your family. So it's your mother, your father, your brother, sister, or your spouse, which means your husband or your wife, and your children. So that's your immediate family. Then we have the word maternal instinct, the instinct of being a mother. That's a maternal instinct. Then we have sibling rivalry, when children are fighting for the same thing. So there's a rivalry between them, whether they are fighting for their mother's love or they are fighting for a piece of cake. This is rivalry. Then we have upbringing, like stable upbringing. Upbringing means the same as growth. So if you had a very good childhood, you can say, I had a very stable upbringing. I was brought up nicely. And then you have the word striking resemblance. You can say there is a striking resemblance between me and my father, or between me and my mother. That means that we look alike. We look very similar to each other. Or you can say I take after my mother very much, which means I look like her very much. Then we have some really good adjectives which are really important for you to know. First one is close, like close friends, like close relatives. Remember, it's pronounced with an S sound. Then we have the words close-knit, like close-knit family. You can say, if somebody asks you what kind of family you have, you can say, we have a very close-knit family. Then we have the word maternal or paternal. These are adjectives. Then we have the word stable, as I was telling you before, something which is constant and not going through ups and downs. Let's move on to verbs. We have the verb to accommodate. If you have a family, you can accommodate somebody else who can come and live with you. Somebody like a cousin or a long distant relative. To adopt a child. For example, when you take in a child which is not your own, you adopt them. Break down. A family can break down. It means a family breaks up. People live in different houses and it's not a stable family anymore. That's breakdown. Develop is another verb, like when relationships develop, like when strong bonds develop in a family. Then we have the word to endure. Endure means to put up with, like when you have trouble, when you have hard times, when you have difficulties, you have to endure them. Means you have to be strong, you have to go through them. That's to endure them. Then you have the word establish, to establish a family, to set up a family. It means to create a family or to establish trust in a family so people can trust each other. When you have a family, you have something in common, which means that you share something together. To inherit, when your parents pass away, when your grandparents pass away, you inherit their wealth, their money, their belongings. To nurture means to feed. It can mean both in terms of physical food, or it can also mean emotionally. For example, you're nurturing your family with love. It means you're growing them. It means that you're investing time and you're growing them and you're giving them what's best for them. So you're nurturing them. You're giving them emotional food as well as physical one. And another word is to play a role. When you play a role of a father or a sister or a brother and you play it well, that means you're a good person. So that's it for this particular podcast. We talked about growing up and families, and whenever you talk about families, these words that we did today will come in very handy. So what kind of family do you have? Is your family very closely knit? Have you had a very good childhood? What role do you play in your family? Who do you resemble the most? Is there a striking resemblance between you and your parents, or between you and your children? Do you have a paternal instinct, a maternal instinct? Are you in a stable relationship? Are you able to endure difficult times? Do you have strong bond in the family? Let me know in the comment section answers to these questions. Hope you enjoyed this podcast. Consider subscribing to my channel, and if you have any requests, let me know in the comment section and I'll try to get to it as soon as possible. Thanks very much. Peace.